put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways.
I'm about to drop some hugely powerful alpha. And that's what they call it. They call it alpha, believe me. Okay? And not many people know this, but alpha means that I know big things, strong things, powerful things. So here's the alpha, folks. If you want to be hugely rich like me, you got to join and subscribe to the BLEEVESCRYPTO YouTube channel. You got to become a member because many people say, quite frankly, it's the strongest YouTube channel out there. It's fantastic. It's the best. So let me know what you think, folks. Funny Donald Duck.
I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 Lady, and I got my shine. Money in my pocket and we're feeling fine. Radio's loud and we're playing Sublime. I think it's gonna be a good day, my oh my. I can't believe I made it this far, it's a miracle. Floating in the clouds now, used to be miserable. Never looking back since I changed my ways. I'm on that good life tip today. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go there with me, girl. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Baby, we can have it all. We can make love out of waterfalls. I'm living that good life after all. Yeah. La da da da, good life, sitting by the fire. La da day, good life, feeling that breeze.
What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great evening. My name is Bleeves. This is Bedtime with Bleeves. And as we come live, what do you think is happening in the crypto market? Do you think that Joe Biden and the crazies in the White House, do you think that they're making everything go down? Do you think that they're do you think that they're doing something wise, smart? Do you think great things are happening? Do you have any idea? The answer to that and all the rest of them is hell no. Guys, it is absolutely bonkers right now what is going on, especially with this administration and with what is going on with the Democratic Party right now. Now, I don't know what side you lean on. To full disclosure here, I am not a Democrat, not a Republican. But listen, the Democrats are waging an all-out war on crypto. And today, Liz Warren announced that she is running for re-election, and she came out with this poster. And I don't know, guys. Tell me what you think. Elizabeth Warren is building an anti-crypto army. And what is she wearing? Huh. That's crazy. She looks a little different. Anybody recognize that? Anybody have any idea what it is? What is she wearing? Huh. I guess she's dressing conservative now. Interesting times with Liz Warren. But hey, listen, let's get rid of that, because what I did is I took the liberty, guys, of a lot of people have been asking me this question. Hey, what's going on with Saitama and Huobi? What's happening there? So I took the liberty of looking it up on Google. Saitama and Huobi partnership, and the results that I got were, what lies do crypto tell? Saitama is a rug pull. I'm not sure why they put that on there. Does Huobi have a low rent district? I'm not sure what that means. Saitama Russ has weird eyes. Is Saitama sponsored by Coke? No, the other Coke. And did Russ buy Binance? So very weird results in the Google search engine, guys. If you look up Saitama and Huobi partnerships, I'm sure you might find some weird stuff going on as well. But move over to pre-markets. You can see right here, we've got change up 66, up 12, up 50, waiting for the CPE to come out tomorrow morning. Now, there's been a lot of stuff coming out over the last little while. None of the information looks great. It looks like most of the CPE predictions are in fact saying that it's either going to go up or it's going to go down, which is weird. Wink, wink, huh? Well, but seriously, guys, the forecasts that are coming in from most of the markets say that we are either going to be at 4.7 again, or we're going to be slightly higher. Now, if that's the case, then I think that it's probably important to, I don't want to say shrug this off, because the market's not working the way the market normally would or normally should. It's getting very, very weird right now. So I think it's important to point out towards the end of this CPA prediction. The CPE prediction that I'm going to give you right now is to say that we've done a lot of negatives over the last bunch of months, and we started to see some positives popping up. So I think that it's important for us to go back and figure out, like, where do we go? I think that we're going to go in at 4.7. I think there's not going to be any sort of move negative. So I get this feeling that this is going to be the one time, or the third time out of the last 5 that we're going to get kind of a positive result, I think, in one of these. And that's important. I think it's important because people want this market to start moving. And we're getting to the point right now where people are starting to make predictions. And look, some very smart people are starting to make some very big predictions about where they think crypto is headed in short order. So I think we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna say that this market is sitting in the positives, 70, 12, and 52. We're going to leave it at that. Are we in altcoin season? No, because Bitcoin is running wild. And when we come over here, we look at Bitcoin running wild, and we see it at 28,200, but it's still just kind of ranging over here after a little sell-off this afternoon. Now, I entered a position today at 1787. I was actually sitting here waiting right over here when it hit this 50-day SMA, and it started to go down, and it just came back over, and I saw this wick. And I got this big wick right here. And I was like, you know what? Let me just get in right here at the bottom. So I got in at 1786. And as soon as I did, it dumped. And I was like, well, God damn it. I knew, I knew that what I should do is I should just wait, because I'm sure that it's going to hit the 200 SMA. In my brain, I was saying that. But then I started looking at the chart, and I'm like, you know what? I think this is the bounce moment. So let's go ahead and take a shot, and let's see what happens, because I am of the mind that we're going to start pumping at any point very, very soon. So I went ahead and went in at 1786, and it dropped down to about 1760, 1763. I wasn't really worried. Like, I didn't really care because I knew what was getting ready to come. And then, of course, what did we get? We got this move right here, and we are now sitting at 1810.03. So my buy-in on this, for anybody who is interested, of course, you can't look it up that way. Why would it be that easy? Why wouldn't it just be something just fucked up at the end? Because that's the way it do, right? So, so we got 14 ETH again. We paid, God damn it. We want the Ethereum? No. I'm just, this is so annoying, the changes that they've made to this goddamn wallet. All right, so I got in for $25,008. I swapped $25,008 for 14 ETH. So that's where we're sitting. So now let's see what would happen if I swapped it back for USDC right now. So 25,008 would become $25,409. So looks like I'm up about $350. So that seems like a pretty decent number, I would think. I'm gonna hold on to it a little bit longer. I do think this market still has some more pump to come. Like, I think that this evening we start to see an 1826, 1827. Maybe we're going to see this number up here. And also want to point out that I did enter a short over here. This is I did take my short down here, and I'm doing a buy at 1825, and then I've got it set for an auto sell. And my trigger is at my take profit is at 1776 America, and the stop loss is set at 1835. So if we get on an insane pump, and we don't come back down over here where I think and where I believe we should be coming down, if we don't come down, then I might be losing that little wager there. But I do think that there's some more pump to come, and we're going to go through some of the reasons why. For starters, U.S. House Speaker says President Biden is putting the economy in jeopardy. Now, the reason that he's saying this is because they have gone over the debt limit. They have until April to figure out the debt limit, and they really haven't done anything about it. And this is posturing, by the way. But when you have Watcher Guru and people like that, they take it super serious. But it says now, U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has said that President Biden is willfully deciding to put the economy in jeopardy. Specifically, he has noted that the refusal for him to meet and discuss potential budget cuts has led the country near that vital debt default. Now, that's $31.4 trillion. Remember, Biden wants his budget to be approved, and he's not backing down. He's not flinching from it. And Kevin McCarthy wants budget cuts. Now, why does Kevin McCarthy want budget cuts? Well, it's very simple. And you can say, by the way, because there's a lot of spending, and there is a lot of spending, but none of these guys, Kevin McCarthy, dirtbag that he is, didn't give a shit when it was Donald Trump doing it. And they continue to create the largest debt in history. Now, say what you want about Donald Trump, but we do have the biggest debt of all time, and it continued to get worse and worse under him, even before we got into COVID. COVID caused an even worse situation. That has to be said here. But it wasn't getting better under Donald Trump. What Donald Trump was hedging himself on, in his estimation, and as he was guessing, was that in his second term, because let's face it, every president gets a second term, unless they're a real idiot, right? But every president gets a second term. And during his second term, that's when you would start to see this come down, because the lower taxes would drive up revenue, and it would just basically fix itself. But didn't fix itself. It got worse and worse and worse. And then that administration shut the country down for COVID. And that kind of stuck us in this very difficult sort of situation. Now, so the fight goes on. And I think that's actually good for Bitcoin. Like, if the here's the thing. Here's the important part. The United States is in a delicate and desperate scenario. And that scenario is almost a flinch and you will get screwed contest. And that is, number one, if the United States defaults, if the United States defaults on the debt, then that will drive inflation up, and that will give all these other countries a reason to stop using the US dollar. Now, the outlier countries that we don't like to begin with, and I want to stress this, by the way, we don't like Russia, we don't like China, we don't like Iran. Saudi Arabia is where most of the people who committed 9/11 came from. We don't like any of these people, and they're now using the Chinese yuan as their settlement mechanism. France agreed to do it because China refuses to do it under USD. So that's important. That's important in that context. And no matter how many different ways you type in, well, the Democrats were in charge. No, in fact, from 2016 to 2018, both houses were controlled by Republicans. Donald Trump lost that support because he lost the 2018 election, the 2020 election, and now the 2022 election. So that's not true. That's not true at all. But his budget included so much of the tax cuts. And listen, Democrats agreed to it. So it's a shared liability here. But it's going under his, it's under his administration, right? And Hunter has it best here. They're all corrupt. It doesn't really matter. It's how corrupt they are. One of the things that we all thought way back when, 6 or 7 years ago, was that Elizabeth Warren was going to put a few feathers in, and she was going to be like, hi-ya, 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 and she was going to do some kind of rain dance and make everything better, right? Well, then we found out that she was the worst corporate shill, the largest banking scumbag that anybody had ever seen. She is so deep in the pockets of the bank. She dines on pocket lint. She is one of the worst people. And because she says cute stuff that keeps Democrats saying, oh, look how she's doing. And she says things like free school lunches and stupid shit like that. When you do that, I mean, what do you make it difficult for people to say, ooh, I don't hate this. I can't stand this woman, because she's like, let's give away free shit to other people. And look, how you going to vote against getting free stuff, right? Especially if you live in big cities. So, I mean, she knows her people, right? And her people are going to fight to make sure that they keep getting free shit, because she's the queen of that free stuff. So, what's going to happen is the government always to this point, the government at this point has always been able to come up with a solution by the end. This time, I don't think they're looking for a solution. Here's what I do think. I think that the Republicans in the House would rather destroy, not the country, because I think they already think that the country's destroyed. But I think that they will destroy the debt limit. They will destroy all of that kind of stuff to burn it down, because they want people to see what the Democrats have to offer. And at this point, they really don't have anything that they're really out here offering. Bernie, to his credit, is offering free education, right? Free college anyway, but free education and noble cause. But we're the only civilized country in the world that doesn't have universal health care. There are plenty of things out here, and they claim that these are the things that they want. But let's, if you back up a step, and why does Liz Warren want to give you free lunch to every child, or why does she want to do something like that? Well, because if she does that, then the people who pay her, the corporate interests, will get tons of money, because they'll get government contracts, and then you'll raise taxes a little bit, and everybody becomes a little bit more reliant on the government, and the government can have more control. And what does Liz Warren want? She wants more control. She doesn't think the government has enough control of you. Also, if you move forward and you control the schools too, and you're giving free education to people, then what do? Then the government pays for your education. They can tax you more. And what does the government do? Ideally, skim off the top. And then what they'll do is they'll for anybody who's never seen this kind of crazy shit that happens in America before, there used to be lotteries, and everybody would have these lotteries where if you get 6 numbers, you win $1 million, and it would go up every single month or every single week or something like that, right? And they would say that all the money, all the profit from the lottery is going to go to schools, right? Well, that's a 5-year plan. After 5 years, guess what? Then they go back in and they vote, and they say, well, all the money's not going to go there now. Now we need to get 10% of this over here to cover shortfalls in our revenue, because we're giving tax breaks to insert whomever it is that you want to give tax breaks to. And now only 40% of the money is going to the schools. And now you have to start either firing teachers or doing something to try to meet a budget. And that is the way this decline works in government. And one of the biggest problems with it, there's no control. There's no term limits. There's no realm of control in any way. The Constitution should serve as a method of control of the government, but it does not. It serves as a method of control of the people. So the best answer for you, the best answer for me, the best answer for everybody is get your goddamn Bitcoin, get your goddamn crypto, and let's get rich, and let's do it right now, because all of this shit is about to go crazy. not only is all this stuff going crazy, the Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're all about to go crazy. They are all about to have just these magnificent runs, and we got to be here for it. We got to be here for it, and we got to have it happen soon, because it's going to get bad. Now, here's the thing. When I say it's going to get bad, that's not exactly right. It's still the United States of America. And guess what? At some point, we're going to pick an enemy. We're going to reach into our hat. We're going to pick an enemy. We're going to find somebody with a color skin that we're like, and we're going to be like, we got to go get those people. And then that's going to unite everybody, because that's the way America is. That's the way America works. And that's the way it's always been. We're going to go looking, and we're going to find somebody, and we're going to say their ideology is so horrible. And the military industrial complex is going to be like, yes. And then we're all going to get back together, and we're going to high five. We're going to hug it out and be like, America, fuck yeah. And we beat up somebody, right? And then everybody is gonna everybody's gonna be like, yeah, you know what, yeah, Trump really was kind of weird, but he had some good ideas. And then people on the left are gonna be like, yeah, he really did, but he was still also like crazy, right? And they're like, yeah, and then look, like everybody's pretending like this hasn't happened before. It happens every goddamn 20, 30, 40 years. Just go back and read some books. Just go back and read some books. Like, we pretend like this is the craziest that it's ever been. Alexander Hamilton got shot and killed. I mean, for fuck's sake, he got killed by his opponent. And we're talking about, well, these guys don't like each other and they don't want to vote on the same team. It's crazy, right? It's just insane. It's always been this way. It will always be this way. We go through ebbs, we go through flows. The difference now is that we have social media, so everybody can get together and go, yeah, it is kind of fucked up right now. So don't worry about it. Be concerned about yourself and your family, but it's gonna happen, right? It's gonna happen. Hey, don't read a book in Florida, and not about trans people or the dude on dude stuff. Can't read those books, but you can read any other book. Not Catcher in the Rye. Well, it's not banned anymore, so you can read it now. But yeah, there are places where there are books banned, but that's something that has to do with how children should be raised. And look, parents should have a say in how their kid is raised. Like, we're not nailing it with the school system to begin with. So, but let's talk about crypto and let's figure this shit out so that we can get the fuck out of here and go to a country or an island or something where we don't have to worry about this crazy bullshit anymore. All right. So next up, let's get into the overall markets. We're going to close that one out. And then we're going to point out Shiba Inu and Bitcoin outperformed the NASDAQ 100 in quarter one. NASDAQ, which is the technology sector, plummeted 30% in 2022. However, in 2023, it started in the front foot and is up by 17% in the last 3 months on the NASDAQ 100. On the other hand, Bitcoin is up 70%, and Shiba Inu is up 77%. So, Shiba's up 32% so far, but it was up 70% back in mid-February. So, it's outperforming. Shiba Inu is outperforming the United States stock market. So let that shit sink in for just a second. The dog coin, a couple years later, is still running circles around the United States economy. That's not great. That is not great. Not at all. What are we up to here? 25,409. Looked like we were pumping over here just a second ago. 25,357. So we're down $50 because I didn't sell. Oh no. All right. So crypto industry struggles to access banking services in the U.S. report shows. Now this is, we're getting into Silicon Valley Bank. We're getting into Signature Bank. We're not talking about you being able to off ramp your crypto or anything like that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the ability of cryptocurrency companies and businesses to have access to funding that they need in order to perform the operations of a company involved in crypto. And they are running out of options. And that is exactly as this government has designed it. So I would think that at some point we as look, we have to wisen up at some point, and we all have to understand that no matter what you think, it's what's actually happening that matters. And you gotta at least look around and realize, are the conspiracies all real? No. Are the conspiracies all fake? Also no, because there is some crazy and seedy shit going on. And is it organized? And is it, do all these conspiracies, does all this weird stuff that happens, is it all like part of some kind of vast network and stuff like that? No. Back in the old days, in like 2015, 2016, people were trying to bring down Donald Trump for colluding with the Russians. It showed obviously that they weren't smart enough to do that. And they even said in interviews, look, even if we wanted to do it, we weren't smart enough to do it. Like we screwed everything up from pillar to post. We just ended up winning the election. Like, they were being honest and saying, like, we were trying, but everybody had, like Putin's puppet and stuff like that. We had these things. And to be fair, the reason that those kind of things stuck and all of those kind of things were happening there were because Donald Trump was really good at was in Lion Ted and Sleepy Joe, and he was good at making all these names and stuff like that. So they were doing the same thing. So, but look, just be aware of what's going on around you and recognize that there are moments where it's going to look bad. Look at this. Ethereum is at 1826 right now. Jesus Christ, what is going on? It's not. That's an outlier. Here is Gary Gensler. Let's move on to another one, because we'll try to get through this as quickly as possible. Gary Gensler, SEC needs new tools, expertise, a couple of eye doctors for each one of his eyes, and resources to regulate the crypto industry. Now, he went into a congressional hearing today, and he was just getting plowed like his husband was there. And I was watching some of it today, and they were pointing out to him, they were like, let me make sure I got this right. You need more money in order to enforce action on the stuff that you're not really authorized to do, because you don't have rules and laws against them yet. You just want more money to do whatever you want to do. So that's very weird. That's very weird. And he was like, yeah. And they were like, done, baby, done. So yeah, things are a little bit awkward. So look, just like I said before, he will not last, not much longer. There's going to be an accounting that's going to happen very, very, very soon. And there are too many people that are pro crypto in the government at this point for Johannes and all of these and all of these people to continue doing what they are doing. Now, this is CoinDesk editorial. You can read this at your leisure, but it says, it sure looks like the U.S. is trying to kill crypto. The federal government's recent actions against crypto, rightly or wrongly, widely perceived as a coordinated attempt to maim digital assets. This risks sending a vital industry overseas without actually protecting investors. Now, here's the thing, right? What this guy just said is nothing's going to change. It's just going to go overseas. So the world is not going to be different. It's and this guy's even jokingly talking about conspiracy theories and stuff like that. With he's got a neighbor named Harry. His worldview includes beliefs in several QAnon conspiracy theories, and that another American Civil War is just around the corner. And he's been waiting for the signal, like smart people do. Wink, wink. Sometimes I engage with Harry. Other times I just listen. Sometimes we talk about cryptocurrency while he says hello to the pups. A couple of days ago, I told him it had been a rough stretch for the sector with the banking crisis and the government pressure ramping up fast. He responded, did you really think the central banks and the governments would allow a competitor to fiat money exist? There it is, right? So even if this guy is a conspiracy theorist, even if this guy it just falls for the dumbest and craziest shit possible, he got one right. The banking system is out to get cryptocurrency, and they buy and pay for everybody that you have in Congress. They buy and pay everybody you see in the Senate, even the ones you like. Lauren Boebert paid for. Who's the hot one? The super hot one. Dancing one. AOC bought and paid for. Why do you think she gets along with everybody all of a sudden? She's no longer part of the squad. Now she's part of the, let's just calm down and let the Democrats do what they need to do, right? There's no third party. There's no big wheel here. They're all on the same team. And that team is big bank, big oil, big pharma. That's the team against the rest of us. Food is held by 4 different companies. Drugs by 3 different companies. Oil by 5 different companies across the world. That's it. So here's what we got to do. We got to get our money and we got to get the fuck out of this place, right? We got to get it out of all of this. But what this guy is really saying is, and go ahead and look at it, but this guy is absolutely on it, referencing Operation Choke Point, how the FDIC is going to do. It was working on Silicon Valley Bank and then just stepped in and took over Signature Bank, which Barney Frank then immediately came out and said that they're going after crypto. And they said, no, that's not the case. And then Gary Gensler kind of looked at the camera and went, did I do that? Because that's exactly what they're doing. So just be prepared. Now, with all of this, with all this knowledge, here's the thing. People are going to exit. People are going to start exiting. You're starting to see it now. That's why you see prices running the way that prices are running. That's why Bitcoin's not coming down right now. Look, institutional market makers, the people who do this shit, the people who pump this stuff up to try to get you back into the markets, the people that do all this kind of stuff, they know what they're doing and they're trying to lure people back in. And the banks and all these people, they're trying to get in at their best position, and then they're trying to make sure that their money is protected, and they're doing it through cryptocurrency. Now, we're not seeing the bleeding yet, but we're going to start seeing the bleeding in markets continue, right? Let's go back to the Dow Jones, guys. We look at the Dow Jones. Look at this. Let me go back to the day chart so you guys can see what is going on with a day chart. So this is the day chart for the Dow Jones, okay? Back in October of 2021, that's when everything crashed. That's when all the markets started to come down, right? And we formed this perfect little channel that we were fighting in, and then we broke out of it in November of 2022. And then we came back down and we tested it. We bounced. We came back down. We tested it. And now we're on another bounce again because now we're using it as support because this channel we've kind of come out of, but we're not all the way out. Now, if you look at the SPY, you can see the same thing happened over here. I just haven't continued to pull this kind of out here so that you can see it. Same thing over here. There's a trend line over here, a trend line down here. We were bouncing around in these and we've broken out, but it's also looking like we're about to sink back in because the longer we test, the more likely it is that we come back down. If we're not powerfully pumping outside of this, then that is a gigantic problem. Now, you've seen guys like Austin, Awesome Austin, people like that going, oh, it's the DXY is gonna die and all of that kind of shit. And then you saw that girl, the girl whose face doesn't move anymore, Wendy, the Wendy girl. She's out here going, the DXY is gonna die and it's not gonna do anything anymore. You know, whatever the fuck she's doing. And guys, this give me a fucking break, man. Like this shit, they're saying that it's breaking down when it's at a level higher than it's been at for years. Think about this. Think about what these people are telling you and think about what reality is, right? Now, is it possible that it breaks down? Always possible that it breaks down. It's going to have to break down to ridiculous sorts of levels in order to actually be a problem. Now, it could, and it could do it rapidly, or it could not do it at all because the United States is still the United States. So, here's what it looks like over here. So this is what it looks like on the day. And, you know, this over here is a big pivot from March 2020. Like, look at where we are. This is the strength of the dollar, basically, right? This is the US dollar. It is not dying. In fact, it was on a run for a while. and then it dipped back down to the spot where it was when it was on a run. So it's just crazy, right? It's just absolutely bonkers. It's absolutely insane that these people continue to do this. It doesn't make any sense. Now, maybe it will make sense first. Maybe they're just getting in early, and maybe that's the case. But I don't think so. I think that here's what I think. I made my money in a bear market. I didn't go through a bull market, and I didn't make $1 million because I just bought SHIB one day and held. And that didn't make me a genius. I didn't just go into Saitama one day early because everybody else was doing it and just held a long time and then cashed out a bunch of money. And that made me look like a genius, because that doesn't make you a genius. That just makes you somebody who got lucky. You guys listen to people who got lucky a lot. You also listen to people who have enough money that it looks like they're lucky all the time. I can't tell you how many friends I've had that I talk to. And listen, I will tell you guys, I'm not a millionaire, right? But almost everybody that I know is. It's crazy to me. And here's the thing. Most of them have the same story. Well, I invested in SHIB and it just went crazy. Or then I took the money that I made and I got into Saitama early and then it just mooned. And then I was throwing money everywhere and everything that I touched was just mooning and mooning. And I flipped over to Jake and Rodney the other day and they were laughing about that. They were like, yo, man, I remember the day when like I throw 10,000, I'll throw $1,000 at something and it was 100 and it was $50,000 a couple of days later. Like everything you were touching was doing that. Well, yeah, and that doesn't make you a good investor. That just makes you somebody who's in a bull market. Everybody's a genius in the bull market, right? Also talked to somebody who had $16 million at the end of 2021 and $8 million by the end of 2022 because they thought that that's how you did it, that you just threw it into something and everything would just pump, right? It doesn't work that way. That's not how markets are. You got lucky, but what you're doing is you're following people who got lucky, right? Crypto Wendy got lucky. She got into Bitcoin. She put herself in a good position. She got super lucky with what she was doing. And now she can throw money at stuff and get wrecked all the time. And just be like, it's no big deal because she's already cashed out enough that it doesn't matter. She has capital she can play with. And if she makes mistakes on it, no problem. It's no big deal because you don't lose everything, because the one thing that you do learn at some point is divest. Right? You learn to divest. Now, everything is not in one single crypto. Spread yourself out. Don't get caught and don't get wrecked in one single thing. Why do you think Terra Luna people were committing suicide? Because people made stupid decisions because they thought they were in the anti-bear market crypto because it was pumping during the bear market. And they were like, I'm going all in, dog. And then when it collapsed, they lost everything. And those are sad circumstances, but that's also a testament to the problem with investors. Greed is not your friend. What is important here is find yourself some cryptos, invest in those cryptos, decide what you're going to do. For example, Bitcoin is a trading dream. All you have to do is follow the patterns. ETH is a trading dream. All you have to do is follow the patterns. If you have a crypto like a Volt and it has a high tax, that's not a trader's dream. That's a long-term hodl. It's just like that's just like Shiba. That's just like Saitama. It's just like one of those things where, look, if you just hold for a long time, it's gonna pump super hard, and one day it's gonna make you rich, right? Luna Classic, if they pull this back together. And it's taken a lot longer than they thought. But if they pull this back together, then it's going to make a whole bunch of people who bought at the bottom mega rich all over again. Because once they put this thing back together and once they turn the switch back on the repeg and stuff like that, and they start to burn, remember, they did this before. So even though people are like, it's not going to happen, blah, 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 it happened in a year and a half with the original Luna and Terra when it was pegged back together, and they did everything that they did. Within a year and a half, they had gone from 1 billion supply down to 343 million supply. They had literally taken off 66% of the tokens it was less than a year and a half, but roughly a year and a half. So there's massive stuff that's going to happen in a lot of these instances. And we're not even in a bull market. We're in a bear market. I mean, look at the volume of trading that we're trading. I am used to, again, I came in towards the end of the bull market. Okay. We're trading volume. Our trading volume right now is $50 billion. And here's what I learned. When the volume that you're trading, whether it go in and out, just on an average, if the volume that you're trading in is 50 billion, that supports a $1 trillion market cap, because that's not a huge volume. That's not a lot. We haven't had big days in volume in a long time. Now, when you go back and you look at, these are 24-hour, these are like the volumes, 24-hour volume, 100 million. This goes back to July of 2022. But look over here. There's some of these days, 24-hour volume, 200 million, 113 million. But then we have days like this right here. This is right after the collapse. This is when we started to get to Christmas time, $21 billion in a single day. Over here, when it started to really come down, we were back in the 50 and 60 range. Now, this is the worst part, by the way. What I'm pointing out right now is this little area right here. Let me get this out of the way. Motherfucker. Like, this is really being a bitch. All right, so this right here, that was that dry time in between the blow off tops back in the bull market, right? That little area right there had trading volume that was down at least a half or more from where it was before. The trading volumes over here were, and let's close this out, trading volumes were 66 billion, 60 billion, 70 billion, 80 billion. But over here, 300 billion, 237 billion, 320 billion, 185 billion. On the run back up, 110 billion, 106, 124, 134, 154, 94. Like, there was significant amounts of capital entering this market all the time, right? Like, that is what that run looked like. Now, you flash over here, we're at 40 and 50 and 40 and 50. We're not even close to the run time. We're not even in the realm of it yet. What we're in is the accumulation phase of what will be a cycle, and it will be a good bull cycle. Like, we're getting into the spot right now where everybody's going to start accumulating, right? And that's what's happening right now. The smart money, the smartest of the smart money, is accumulating right now. The biggest of the big money that's not already in the market right now, they're looking for entry spots. They're checking out, quote unquote, kicking the tires, so to speak, to try to figure out what's a good entry position. So that's all happening right now. And here we sit just waiting for that moment. Well, when you don't expect it, that moment is going to happen. So hopefully you've layered yourself in and you're just ready for it. All you have to do is just sit back, make a few good decisions, look for utilities. Look, God damn it. Did I do that again? Ain't this a bitch? All right. So, what you got to do is over here. You just got to hold. You just got to find your position. What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin's a store of value. What is ETH? ETH is basically the internet of the future. And SHIB could be, it's a meme coin. It's not, but Bone is what their blockchain is going to run off of. Solana, blockchain. Crow, a blockchain and a centralized exchange. MX, a centralized exchange. There's plenty of different things. Find use cases, find reasons to hold some tokens, and just go hold those tokens and just give it some time through the bull run. And then when you go look at that wallet again, you're just going to be floored by how much money you've made. And that's all you have to do, is make good decisions about products that you care about, products that you love and are passionate about, and then just hold them. That's all you have to do, right? And then when you get to the part of the market where it becomes altcoin season, is it altcoin season yet? No, it's not even close. Well, you know what? It could be close. It could be just a couple days away. But when it starts to happen, then all of your coffers will start to fill. Meme coins will start to pump super hard. You'll start to get a lot out of all the different projects and all the different tokens that you put money into in that regard, right? But, let Bitcoin eat, let Ethereum eat, and then understand that the mechanics of the market are that money will flow down into the altcoins once Bitcoin has pumped super hard. When it starts to dump because of that, then you see money coming into the other ones, and it'll start pumping and we're having a full-blown altcoin season, and then that altcoin season spirals down into a meme coin season, because that's when people go after that super risky stuff. That's when they think that they're going to make the crazy life-changing sort of money, right? So all you have to do is recognize that that's the pattern, that's the way that it works. Know what sector of the market you're in, which is why, by the way, we're covering this every single day. Every single day I'm bringing this up and I'm pointing out, are we in altcoin season? We are not. We are in Bitcoin season, and it is a warm Bitcoin season, but it is a Bitcoin season nonetheless. When we start to see a run on Ethereum, when we start to see a run on everything else and Bitcoin is not moving, then it will start to pump like this. And then altcoins will start to pump and meme coins will start to pump, and we'll all start to make money in those baskets. But in the meantime, Bitcoin, Ethereum, make your money. Now, let's move on, because there's a couple more things that we want to cover, and we're running out of time here. Popular traders still cautiously bearish on crypto. I keep running back into this guy, and I keep seeing him again because people seem to like him, and it's Justin Bennett, and he's the guy that told me at 14 cents VeChain was a steal, and it's trading for a penny right now. So, yeah. But he does say that looking at Ethereum, he says that the leading smart contract platform could quickly and briefly pump to nearly 1900. We also saw Ethereum testing the September 21 trend line at 1680 on Monday and must hold levels for bulls. So we all have a well-defined ETH range of 1715 and 1840. Given this range and the short liquidations that have developed at 1870, I wouldn't be surprised to see a quick pump above range highs to flush shorts. And that's what he's talking about, is like up here is 1840 is the range, right? Right in here. So there's going to be shorts that are just sitting like in these positions up here, just above all of this. And he wants to get them knocked out and liquidated because then, of course, that means they have to buy crypto to settle the bills. And that, of course, pumps the chart even more. So he is thinking that we do end up at a 1900 or right around here, which is not that far away. So it would make sense to see that happening. And by the way, I should do the USD futures over here. It's a little easier for me to keep track of because that's the one that I'm trading on. I'm going to put that up here. It's a little bit off, by the way, on the overall market cap, but that's the MEXC futures contract right there. So that's the one that I'm using over here for the position that I'm trying to open. So we'll see how that plays out. Maybe that one will be a good one. But let's move on here. Vaulted Dragon Sailors Club is now available live on Steam. So if you haven't already, go to Steam, download Vault Island, and let's get to killing one another. And let's see how the integration works. What I'm certainly gonna be interested about how all this stuff plays out. Like, I'm gonna go check it out. You should go check it out too. Also, 10th buyback has happened. 100,000 bought over the last 10 days, which means that we're done. But it was 5.56 wrapped Ethereum, spent $10,000, got 6 more billion Volt. Send that to me, Voltoshi. Shit. And then there we go. So that part's done as well. Next Gen Network here gave a very lengthy one. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but go to @BLEEVESCRYPTO and you can read it here. Bit4x. The team had to pay $20K for market movers and et cetera, et cetera. There is a PR firm that they're working with that's going to have some articles pushing out on MarketWatch, Yahoo Finance, Benzinga, Seeking Alpha, AP News, Morningstar, and others. Then there is Network AI. We're working with a video introduction for what this DApp will generally offer as an instrument or tool that brings the two greatest technology. That's me, by the way. I was pushing for this. Modern day, which is the blockchain and artificial intelligence. We plan to provide a tool that will help individuals in the space between investors, as well provide educational content as we understand that knowledge is key. So this video will be released spring 2023 in the near future. The BSC Bridge network being available on another blockchain is a necessity for us to grow. Making the project available to all in the space is important. The contract is being revised to remove network protocol tax, which was an issue in the ETH contract. Also adding a transfer tax to the BSC contract as we didn't for the ETH contract. And this has hurt us from the exchanges and collecting taxes to help with the development. We were also setting it where the tax cannot be raised above 10% to show holders that even with a non-renounced contract, there will never be taxes over that 10% margin. Centralized exchange listings, we're going to continue to deliver on exchanges in between working on all of these things. Then they're going to be involved in the FinTech caucus. We will continue to have discussions with congressional leaders like Tom Emmer, and we will push to have a seat at the table to be a voice in DeFi. We will also expand the network's capability with these relationships to be a benefit for us and everyone in crypto. And this is just them talking about what the first bunch of days were like for NGN as a product. So kudos to them. Phenomenal job so far, especially in a bear market. It's a difficult market for you to get some traction in. And, it's very tough, but it's, whoo. Ryo, thank you for the $20 bomb. He says, thanks, Bleeves, for everything. I lost a lot of money for listening to the wrong people, but now I'm doing my research for every project I get in. Thank you so much for the content you make. Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. The fact that you are learning how to trade, and I don't have to be the one to teach you how to trade. Look, I learn on the job as I can myself, to be fair. Like I am going right now hard to become a master futures trader. That's why I'm doing this right now. I'm learning what is or isn't going to work in futures. I'm setting this up. I put only $500 over. And what I wanted to do, what I was hoping for, was that I would get a nice little run on Ethereum and not break 1900, Justin Bennett, you prick. I was hoping that I would get up to the green again, that we would get into this little green area right here, that we would pop, and that we would then consolidate back down. Here's what I'm hoping for. I set mine at 1776. So I'm right here at 1776. So what I was hoping for was that we would pop right here, that I would get my short, and then we would come back down here to 1775. Now, and really the profit that I would make is only $100. It's not a lot to begin with. It's not like I'm not setting the world on fire. I'm just over here doing this so that I understand the mechanics of setting them up and doing them, so that I know, because I want to be able to better educate you guys. Because look, when it comes down to when the bull market is in full swing, we're going to go long on some shit, and we're going to be the richest channel out there. So I'm learning what I need to know in order to help you guys, so that, later on, you guys will be watching this and you'll be like, hey, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's how, look, we're going to leverage some positions every once in a while when it looks easy, when we can get in a good position. If we can do that, and if we can create that sort of environment, then boom, we're all going to make it. You know what I mean? And speaking of we are going to make it, I hope WAGMI has a nice little pump pretty soon. You know what I mean? So I'm going to close down MEXC for now. We're going to come over here to Volt. By the way, I did put it in here in pink for Pablo, since tomorrow is Pablo Gets Pink Hair Day. Or we're going to get a gigantic pump off of some kind of announcement that happens on the last day of the month, which could still happen, by the way. I joke about Pablo's hair because Pablo said he's going to get it done anyway. So I don't know if he will or not, but if it's part of the bet, then I'm sure that he will. But what would be awesome is if he got his hair done tonight and he comes out tomorrow with pink hair, and he tells Voltoshi that that's what happened, and then Voltoshi makes a phone call, and the next thing you know, we've got a listing on a gigantic exchange, and it just starts pumping, and Pablo ends up winning but still has green hair. That would be a tremendous, bigly even. So anyway, Hex is up 5%, Volt's up a little bit, 1665, Saitama 1941, Terra at 3059, Shib 1060, WAGMI 6126, Bone $1.06, Wiz 2076, Lillian 5677, Cato 1361, BRL 87 cents, Decanect 0.048, sorry, and Floki 3310, MMAI 3631, NGN is at 50 cents exactly, guys, at 50 cents exactly on NGN. Remember, I told you this before, I'm not going to tell you again. DJ Legend's birthday is April 2nd. So if you don't know what that means, let's just go ahead, and I'm going to do it right now and say, let's just put this line. Wait, let's come down here, and we're going to trash everything over here. And then we're just going to put one line down, and we're going to say, as of right now, if you were to enter, you would be entering at this position right here, right? And let's see where that is on DJ Legend's birthday. Guys, I'm not telling you that it's going to pump. I'm telling you that I heard something. I'm not telling you that it's going up over a penny more than it already is. But I am saying that it's DJ Legend's birthday on April 2nd, and they're going to have a party. And that party, part of that party is what happens over here on this chart. So I think it's possible. I don't know. But Lil Birdie told me that they were going to have a buyback. And if that's the case and you don't have a bag in it, then you're not learning anything. Remember, buy tax 10%, sell tax 10%. So if it goes up 100%, you win 80. If it goes up, 50%, you get 30%. There's profit to be made, and there's opportunity right there. So if I give you opportunity and you don't take advantage of it, then that's on you. That's not on me, right? So I think that's it. Yeah, and there we go. Now, there we go. It's time to walk the dog. It's not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, remember this. It's you find something and you try to take advantage of an opportunity to get some kind of profit out of it. Just have some patience. We're 400 days away, 399 now, away from the halving. And this is the time where everything is set for a run. Now, the markets are wonky. Everything's weird. Doesn't mean that we're not going to run. Bitcoin is different. It's hitting different in the world right now. Everybody says it's gonna dump. It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. Well, what's turning into a hedge against everything that's going on in the world right now, and that means something. And at some point, people are gonna go, you know what? Fuck this. I'm getting in. And when they start getting in like that, then everything changes. Remember, there are people who are talking about $1 million Bitcoin in 60 days. There are people that are talking about just ridiculous sorts of things that they're getting ready to do. They think that Bitcoin is going to do. I told you 54,000 because I'm not convinced on 1 million. I'm not convinced on 100,000, but I am convinced that parabolic cycle. We're on the third rung of the parabolic cycle, and if that is the case, then that means that we've got another couple moves, but that we are headed to 54,000 and not very far from now either. So we'll talk to you guys in the morning. You guys have a good night. Stay safe. Remember this.
So number 1 is Sandbox. Number 2 and number 3, some coins I've been talking about a lot and speaking very favorably of. You gotta go with FTT and CRO. I really believe the.
You heard it right. Okay. Have a good night. We'll see you in the morning.
Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way, so everybody gets sideways. Sing it.